Hello friends, welcome back. Want to truly understand the Azure Storage Account for your interview, not just to memorize the answers? Join us as we explore the essential storage types, access tiers, and security concepts through our 10 plus targeted questions that provides the concise explanation and also guiding you to the best response for any interviewers. So without delay, come let's get started. We have been making a lot of interview videos as a lot of you are asking about it. So if you go to the channel and search for interviews, you will find all of the latest videos here. .NET videos are here, EF course, everything is here. Okay, I will also make a playlist. I think there's already a playlist, and the playlist will tell you here these two things, right? Mastering the Azure related videos are here, interviews related to the .NET core is here, Angular interview questions are here. Alright, everything is here that will help you to boost your interview. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this website. Okay, so this website, I logged in and I go to course, and if you wonder what is this website, this was our full stack development video series. We recently completed it. It has a lot of services and a lot of concepts implemented. Okay, so feel free to take a look at the full stack video as well if you're new to this channel. And we are going to focus on Azure and interview questions that are storage account. There are 26 questions. I'm going to choose 15 and see what best we get in this one. All right, let's start this. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to choose 15. I'm going to be in the practice mode. If you are aware of what is practice mode, start the question. So as we go through this, I will also explain you the concepts, because that's the whole idea of this interview preparation. I will explain you the concept as we progress, and please try to answer by yourself. If you know the concept, trust me, you can nail it. All right, now what I'm going to do, considering this as an interviewer and I myself as a candidate, I'm going to answer and see how things works. So this is the first question. It's a scenario based question. You want your Azure app service to upload an image to a private container in the Blob storage. Wow, we have a wonderful real-time example. How can you securely implement this with least privilege? Okay, so basically here, if I go to upload, I can actually upload a file. I can actually upload a file to the Azure app service. So exactly whatever this question scenario is, we have already implemented it. Okay, uploading. So how do I know? If I go here, you see this effortless and secure image upload to Azure storage container. Okay, if you look at this video, you know how to do it. All right, so that is what they're asking. With the least privilege, how will you do it? Let's go over the options. Enable public access on container. If I enable public access on container, what will happen? So before we go over these options, right, let's go here. Let's go to our portal.azure.com, and I'm going to open up a particular storage account. Okay, and under the storage account, under the status storage, you have these containers and all the other related thing that is related to the storage account. If I go to containers are nothing but kind of a folders. Imagine this as a folder. Okay, so I have two folders, like three folders basically, and you can look at this anonymous access level. These two are private and this is at a blob level, which means I have given access to this image folder and its content to the public. But if you go here, all the images that our users have uploaded, we have 1, 2, 3, excluding me, the 3 more users who have uploaded their image. If I try to see, I cannot see, or you cannot see, even if you get this URL like this. Okay, it's not gonna show. Okay, so it's secure now. Okay, so that is what the private access. So with the least privilege, how will you succeed? Let's go to this question. We can't enable the public access to the containers, which will give access to everyone. That's wrong. Use account key in backend code. It's possible because if you have an account key, you can actually upload it via the backend code. Enable managed identity for the Azure web app and grant storage blob data contributor role. or use a static SAS token for all requests. Okay, this is very confusing, right? Let's understand this. SAS token, SAS token, SAD access signature. Okay, just for security, just for our user security thing, I'm going to open up this image because I know for sure this is my image. Okay, if you go here and click on, so basically what they're saying is, so for this one, right? All right, so what's the very first question? They're asking, how will your Azure App Service can securely upload an image to the private container in the Blob storage? How can you securely implement this with the least privilege? So we also have an example here. If you go to this website, go to update profile, I'll be able to upload my image or your image, right? When you log in, it's your image. We can upload that, and actually that goes and sits in the a container here. There is a container under the storage account, and this container is private. I can do that, right? But how it is doing, how this app is doing it, that's what the question is. So the right answer is, you have to enable the manage identity of the web app, which means you go to this web app. For example, we were talking about this web app, which is what is copying. Go under identity. There is a system identity and user assigned identity. Under system identity, you switch it on, get this one. You can actually give access to this one, okay, in the storage account for a particular container. That is what you have to do. Okay, so this is the right answer. So if you wanted to know how this is done, you can actually go and search such a keyword here, or even here, if you go to this website under video, you can search these kind of videos, will tell you how you can do it. Like identity, you can use this and this. Okay, this will tell you how to do that. Now let's go back here and see what is the answer. See, this is what the combination will allow us to do this operation. Okay, now how do you enforce encryption at rest for data in the storage account? Encryption at rest means whatever data that we are storing in the storage account, it has to be encrypted. No one should be able to decrypt it. First of all, for encryption, there's something called encryption key. If you go to the storage account, okay, let's talk about a storage account. Any storage account, by default, you have two options. You can actually use Microsoft managed key or customer managed key. Okay, keys which customer manages will be there in the key vault, and that key will be used to encrypt and decrypt. If you lose the key, you're screwed. Data cannot be decrypted. Even Microsoft cannot do it because it doesn't know what key was used to encrypt it. Okay, so that is what they're asking. So they're saying, how will you enforce the encryption? Okay, now the right answer is, it's always enabled using Microsoft managed key. That's the default value, and let's see whether this answer is correct. This answer is correct. Okay, so by default everything is encrypted, and that uses the Microsoft managed key. If you want to change to your key, yes, it's doable. Okay, now what is the purpose of Azure Storage Queue? Where is that? If I go to storage, under the storage, there's something called queues, right? I think we do not have a video about it. We can make it, but they're asking, what is this used for? To store files in CDN. CDN is content delivery network. No, there's nothing related to storage account. This is the wrong answer. To host APIs. No, because web app, Azure App Service web app is the one which hosts the web API. This is not the one. To decouple the components and enable message based communication. To stream the data, it's wrong. This is the right answer, because queues are nothing but it takes a message and somebody else can read the message. Okay, Azure Queue Storage is used to decouple the component using messages. Next one, which tool can you use to visually manage the Azure storage, like blob files, all of these things? What are the tools? You can use Storage Explorer. If you have not seen it, Microsoft Azure Storage Explorer, there is a tool called Storage Explorer. You can connect the tool to your logged in account, and it can actually read every single storage, and you can actually perform a lot of actions. Okay, so that is what it is saying. So this is one tool which will help us, but all the other things are not related to that. Visual Studio cannot be used, only this is the right answer. Okay, this is a free tool, of course, and we also have a video for that, so don't forget to check it out. How can you restrict access to storage account so that only Azure hosted services like functions, Azure App Service can access it securely over the private channel? This is a scenario based question. Sometimes you might get an advanced question, but don't get scared. It's a new concept. Don't feel sad if you don't know. All right, it's all about learning and preparing yourself, right? If you're very comfortable always, then we're not going to make it, right? We have to see the challenge. We have to face the challenge. Now, challenges, a lot of new concepts here. Basically, they're saying with the private channel, how can you access the storage account? Okay, how can you restrict the access? Like only particular services should be able to access that. That is what they're asking. Okay, so what we can do is we can use the private endpoint plus VNet integration. So this should be the right answer, which we are going to check, but all the others doesn't match. Cross origin resource sharing. This is related to the one site calling API on another site. This is nothing related to what they're asking about. Enable public access, which means you're like opening the door for everyone. That's also wrong. Add their outbound API to the firewall. Outbound API to the firewall means whichever service will have IP, they're asking to add their IP to our firewall. But let's check what is the answer, and this is the right answer. See, it says you can use the private endpoints to create it, and you can actually use the VNet, and that you can configure it. Then only these which are connected to the VNet will securely privately access this one. That's what they're talking about. Okay, so as long as you can narrate it by your own words, that should be good. Okay, so next one, have an Azure function that process images uploaded to the Blob storage. Hey, trust me, we have this also. So if you upload any image to the Azure storage, a function which is keep polling the Azure storage can pick it up and start processing. So that is what they're saying. What's the most secure and recommended way to allow access to the Azure storage from the Azure function app? Wow, that's nice, right? Again, we have talked about this enough. Generating SAS token is wrong. That is not for this purpose. It's a temporary access. That's not this purpose. Storage account key, can you use? You can use, but that's not secure. You're exposing the key. Can I set the blob content to public access? No, you're again opening the door to everyone. The right answer is Azure Function App also will have a managed identity, similar to what we had for for everything it will have. Okay, so that one you can use, and you can give permission properly, which is role-based access control, and that should help us to achieve this. Okay, so see, these kind of scenario questions they can easily ask you, and most likely they'll ask you like that only. Okay, they're not going to ask you what is. So just be prepared, understand the question, and you should be able to answer it by yourself. Next is, what is the use of lifecycle management in blob storage? Great, that's a good example. See, what is happening is, if I go to this container, right, I have these images. Now I have a lot of images keep coming. I wanted to do something like, let's say for example, I wanted to archive this after a certain time, or those kind of actions, right? If I want to delete, what should happen? So lifecycle management. Or let's say for example, let me give you a good example. Okay, you keep uploading images, and that is processed. Now we don't want that, right? So there should be a business logic that says, hey, after 7 days of an image comes in or a file comes in, archive that. That's a life cycle of a particular file. That is what they're asking. So what is the use of, why are you doing? That's what the question is. Automatically delete or move blobs based on the rules. The rule that I talked about, 7 days rule, right? That's the right answer. See, lifecycle rules automates the transition or deletion of a blob. Okay. Now, which role must be assigned to allow a function app manage identity to read the blobs? Just to read the blobs, what do you want? Azure app function app is reading from blobs. Understand the question. Function app is reading blobs from the storage account using their identity. Entity means they will tell who they are. It's reading the blobs from the storage account. The right answer is storage blob data reader. Though everything is correct, they're all higher quality, like high privileges. Reader means it will read everything. Owner means you can even delete it. Contributor, you can update it, you can modify it. We don't want all of those things to happen. The Azure Function app should be only allowed to read the blob data. This is the right answer. Okay. Next, how can you monitor and audit which app is accessing the storage account and what operations are being performed? Wow, that's nice. They're asking who does what. How will you know? That's what they're saying. How can you monitor and audit? How can you do all of these actions that is happening here? So there's something called enable diagnostic testing in send logs or analytics log. Is this correct? Not really. The answer should be enable NSG flow logs, and we're going to check. Sometimes I also will not know some answers. It's not like only you may not know, I may not also know, but sometimes I pretend that I will not know. Okay, and which you will find out, and let me know if you find out that correctly, and let me know in the comment section. Now my guess is this one. Why? All the other options are wrong. Azure policy is to set rules at the organization level, not to monitor or audit. DevOps logs are nothing related to what we are talking about here. Diagnostic settings to send the logs to log analytics is basically you're configuring a mechanism where you're directing the logs to log analytics for further processing. Okay, so NSG, network security group flow logs, is the one which will actually monitor and audit, and I will show you this is the right answer. Alright, so I was wrong, I have to admit it. Enabling the diagnostic settings to send logs to log analytics. Let me see what the explanation is. Okay, this is very embarrassing for me. But anyway, I can also go wrong. Alright, that's fine. Azure Storage diagnostic settings allows you to log the read, write, delete operation per identity and send logs to the analytics. Wow, that's nice. See, for example, what they're saying is here, right, in the diagnostic settings, there should be diagnostics here. You can configure this so every single operation that is performed here will be logged and sent to the log analytics. That's what they're saying. So this is the right answer. I'm sorry if you have got this one. This is really wrong answer. All right, let's go to the next one. Which of the following is the most secure way to allow an app to access a storage account? What is a secure way? Again, this is the secured way because none of them are more secure. This is the right secured way. We already spoke about it, so we are gonna go to the next one. Alright, so our next question is, which of the following is true about the user delegation to the shared access signature? So let's go over it. It uses a user credential for access, like it is on behalf of that user it is accessing. So this is the right answer. Let's see. Let's go over the other one. It uses storage account key, doesn't use a storage account key, it doesn't use this, it is not depreciated. Okay, so this is the right answer. Again, I'm saying, though it is showing this one as green, this is the right answer. Okay, I will update the answer correctly. Oh, it's timed up. It just submitted on behalf of me. It's forcing me to submit. Don't worry. If I don't want to submit, let's go here and let's resume wherever we were. Okay, let's go to the question where we were, but don't worry, the answer that is showing as wrong is really wrong. Okay, let's go over to our question. Where was the question? This is the actual right answer. Okay, trust me, I will update this question by the time you take this test. Okay, don't click on this one. This is not the right one. All right, guys, so I instantly updated the right answer. So this is the right answer. This is not the one. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So how can you restrict public access to blob storage while still allowing secure access from your app? Right, great. So what we can do is you can use the shared access signature token or the managed entity. That should give us the restrict the public access. At the same time, you can also access that particular file for a particular period of time, right? That's why shared access signature is there. Okay, so now the third one, the 13th one, how can you monitor and audit operation on Azure Storage? I think we already spoke about it, right? So we were thinking it is NSG. I was thinking about NSG flow, but that's not correct. That's basically this one. So let's see. All right. Next one. What is the main difference between hot, cool, archive, access tier, and blob storage? Okay, so hot means immediately accessible. The faster it access, the more cost. Cool means medium stage. There are actually 4 stages: hot, cool, cooler, and archive, I believe. Okay, there was a 4th stage which they introduced recently. But cool is basically in the middle stage. It's like you can access, but it might take some time, few milliseconds more. Cost is less. Archive means like basically you're putting that in your godown or something, right? Storage location or attic. It takes more time to access it, but then it doesn't disturb you. Low cost. Okay, so that's the main difference. So what is the options? File type, no. Size of the blob, no. Access, frequency, and cost based on what I explained. Okay, so that's the right answer. And by default is hot. Okay, so remember that. Which of the following is not a type of storage provided by the Azure Storage Account? Do we have blob storage? Yes. Do we have file storage? Yes, Azure Files. Do we have SQL storage? Do we have table storage? Let's see. File storage, table, queue, containers. What do we not have? What we not have? MySQL storage. There is no such concept. That's the right answer. So we went through and come here and give the honest feedback. I'm going to submit. I'm going to go over and see how much I scored. 93. One was wrong. This one was wrong, which is fine. Now that's a lesson I will never forget, right? That was not NSG. It was diagnostic logging and log analytics. Okay, I hope you also will remember that. And if I have to go over that exams again, go in preview mode. You can enable this. You can go over what answer you choose and what is the explanation. Okay, so you can always go like that. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, just hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends in social media, help grow this channel. So stay tuned for more such videos, and if you have some specific videos in mind or content that you are looking for, please let me know in the comment section. Alright, stay tuned guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tech tutorials. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Happy coding!